If this is your first time here, my name is Melissa. Channel here is Melissa_Done in 6. I like to talk about all things makeup and beauty. Today I'm going to be doing, I've been seeing like on TikTok a lot, this video where they put a line down the center of their face and they'll do like how they did their makeup. I'm going to focus on like 2015, 2016 versus how they do their makeup now. So stay tuned if you're interested to see what my preferences are now versus what they were, about what, that's like, damn, 8 years ago already. So I'm just gonna start with the NYX pencil and just draw a straight as possible line. Oh jeez. So around 2015 to 2016 is probably when I really got into makeup. When I finally had some money that I was able to like go to Sephora and start trying different brands. I'm gonna put a few pictures here so you can get an idea of what my aesthetic was. It was very heavy, very caked on, lots of layers of foundation. I loved me a bold lip and big lashes. So I'm gonna be doing that on this side. I'm gonna be focusing on how I like my makeup back then on this side. And on this side, I'm going to be talking through how I prefer to do my makeup now that I am 32 and my preferences and style have just changed. So I was priming back then, and I remember like Smashbox primers, especially that it came in like the silver packaging. That oil-free silicone one was the way to go. And Maybelline came out like the baby skin, right? Everyone had these super slippy, super silicone primers, so that is what I used to utilize. I don't have any of those now. The most comparable product I have is this tinted treatment primer from Tarte. It has a bit of color, but the texture is very similar, like that foamy, super silicone-y, super slippery. And I would just put that over my face. For now, I probably would go in with 2 primers. I definitely prefer the Milk Hydrating Primer. This is probably like my favorite primer ever. I just feel like it adds a bit of hydration, but not too much. It's like tacky, so it helps with the longevity of your foundation. And then I'd go in with something like the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Just to add like an extra layer of glow, and it has like the tiniest bit of coverage before we go in with like foundation and the other face products. For brows, I had way thinner brows back then. I was super into like waxing and plucking. They were like very like Nike swoosh. And I think everybody and their mom was using, right, Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow, because they were thin, but they were pigmented. So I would just go ahead and fill in my brows. I'm kind of scared. Oh, Lord. Jeez. Do you guys ever just look at old pictures and you thought you were like killing it, you felt so cute, and you look back now and you're like, what in the world? For a recent day, I prefer a very like unbothered, simple brow. My product of preference is a brow pencil. So I normally just brush them up. And I primarily focus the product on the bottom. So I'll go ahead and start just like filling it in. Slightly in the bottom. I'm just doing like strokes, like nothing too heavy. And you'll even notice the color I prefer now. It's a lot closer and lighter to my hair. So that's it. That's really all I do. And then I just make sure I'm brushing that product through so it just fills in any gaps. So you can see on this side, you can still see the brow hairs. So on this side, they're completely blocked out. This is actually something I used to do and I still do. I still carve my brows. I just find that it just pulls everything together. And you don't have to worry about like making a mess if things are perfect, because you can just clean them up with some concealer. The only difference is probably the amount of concealer. So I am trying to fix a much darker brow on this side. This is as good as it's gonna get. Honestly, probably looks better than how I used to do my brows. When it came to foundation back then, I would have died if like my pimples were popping through. So I was going in with heavy foundations like MAC Studio Fix or the full coverage cream. I might have even layered them sometimes. Let's do Studio Fix today. And not only would I go in with a very heavy, preferably matte foundation, I had to go in with layers. So I would put down a layer, put on like 2 to 3 depending what was peeking through. Right, because the idea of spot concealing was foreign to me. And I most likely was using brushes. And another thing I used to do, because I'm very fair, but like, I mean, I still have trouble shade matching myself, but I would just buy the lightest shade. But now I've realized I am fair, but I have neutral undertones, and a lot of times the lightest shade just does not work. So sometimes I prefer to actually go up a shade so that the undertone is right. And then I could just brighten areas with concealer. I would go everywhere with the heavy foundation. It's kind of hard not getting it on the other side. Now, I still like my coverage because I'd prefer, excuse me, if my acne wasn't showing through. But if it shows through, it's not a big deal to me. So I prefer something with like medium buildable coverage that is more of a natural dewy foundation. And now I actually first try to apply it with my hands. I just find like, especially base products, with the warmth of your finger, they just melt into the skin so much nicer than if you go in with brushes or a sponge. And this doesn't have to be perfect because I will then just go over everything with a sponge. This is more so just to distribute the product. Because I don't like to feel foundation on my face. Back then, I didn't care. But now, I just prefer it be as undetectable as possible. And I'll probably just go in with one light layer of that. Back then, I was definitely cream contouring. This product didn't exist then, but I'm just going to use it today. And I did, you know, the shapes. We'll skip the nose. So, lots of product. Just blend that out with a brush. This product is probably way more forgiving than what I used to use. I used to just go in with like straight up darker concealers. Now, 9 out of 10 times I'm not doing contouring. If I am, it's just gonna be the tiniest bit right here. And I would just distribute the product just to add a little something, you know. I have a wider face that's rounder, so like you can create dimension, but for the most part, like I prefer bronzer than trying to contour. And then Tarte Shape Tape. When this came out, I think this changed like the makeup world, right? Everybody wanted the fullest coverage. And yep, I did all the triangles under the eye. Tons of product. Oh Lord. Can we just blend that out? And not only did I stop at the Tarte concealer, I take the tiniest bit of the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer. If you ever want a concealer that'll cover anything, like you can basically spackle with this concealer. This covers everything. Honestly, that's probably too much product. But I would add that. I don't know what I was covering because I probably didn't have eye bags at this time. But right, that was like the era of the super bright under eye, heavy foundation, contour highlight. For now, I'm probably going in with a concealer that matches my skin pretty well. I don't care for the bright under eye, and I literally just add like the tiniest bit, and then I would just spot conceal wherever the foundation didn't give me enough coverage. And then I will just blend it out with a sponge. For this side, that is the extent of the creams. From here on out, everything else would have been powder. And I would have baked heavily. And I'm taking, you know how I'm taking. break to like create under the contour. And then I would just let it sit. I don't know what I was doing in the meantime, but I would just let it sit. Now I'm much more specific with my powder placement. So I most likely would take a small brush. I just want like the tiniest bit. And just normally focus it under the eyes. Oh god, was this brush dirty? Pause. Like I was saying, I just take like the smallest amount and primarily focus it under the eye because I do have fine lines, and around the nose, anywhere I may get a little bit oily. And I even do like here where my acne is so that the product I have doesn't move around. But I most likely would, I rarely ever powder my whole face. So like these areas, I like that luminosity. For this side, I'd probably go in with a cream blush. I, like everyone else right now, love blush. And because it's summertime, I like that extra luminosity that a cream provides. And I don't mind like a bright blush. Like I feel like it brings life to my face. I look younger, more awake. I really like blush, especially cream blushes at the moment. And I'll probably even like pop a little bit on the nose, like a blushing moment. And now that the powder has sat a bit, I would then just brush it away. Like, look how dry and crepey that looks. And then I would most likely have gone in with bronzer. This bronzer might be from 2015. I probably should get rid of it. This is the Marc Jacobs Tantastic. So, just bronze heavily. Lord. I still love my bronzer. This is the newer one from MAC. But now I go in for shades that are way better suited for my fair skin. And like bronzer is supposed to like wherever the sun hits you, right? So it's not supposed to be a contour like I would have used it on this side. So I'm not as precise, like right, the sun hits your forehead, tops of your cheeks, right, your nose. Back then I was either doing like a bold lip in a very like classic eye with a winged liner and the lashes that are way too big for my eyes, or I was doing like smoky eyes and a bare lip. Today I think we'll do the simpler eye and a bright lip since that was like my thing. So I actually do this now too, but I probably would have taken the bronzer and use that as my transition shade. And I probably would just left the lid blank. And I most likely was adding in some liner on the top and bottom. Definitely was doing a winged liner. Probably way too big for my eye shape too. At this time, I wasn't a fan of highlighter, honestly, but I did like highlighter in the inner corner and under the brow. Let me add some of that. Oh, I really need to clean my brushes. Lord. And then I was definitely going in with lashes that are not made for my hooded eyes. Something like this. Okay, and then you'll notice I didn't go in with any blush because for me at this time, since I was doing bright lips, my bronzer was good enough. And then the cherry on top of my signature look was always a bright lipstick, whether it was red, fuchsia, whatever. Today I'm going in with orange. Back to this side, I'm definitely going in with a highlighter because I'm really into looking very shiny. Just popping on the top of the cheeks there and above the eyebrow. And I'm actually going to add even more blush on this side. This one is from Bare Minerals, their Blonzer. For eyeshadow, unless I'm like going for a full look, I'll keep it pretty simple, like a one and done eyeshadow. I'll apply on my eye, on my finger, or like one of these pencils from Bobbi Brown. So I'll first go in with the brown side. Just run that along. And you can just honestly blend these out with your finger because they are so creamy. Then I'll take the lighter shimmery side and just run that from the inner corner to like the center of the eye. And again, just blend it with my finger. And mind you, this wasn't just like to go out. This is like the makeup I just like to do. I could have just been studying at the library. And I still like a very bright inner corner, so I'm actually going to go in with the same highlighter I use on my face and just brighten up the inner corner. Just to open up my eyes. Most times I'll skip the wing liner now, but I still will go in with a dark liner on the upper lashes just to add some volume, definition. And my preferred lash is a demi-wispy. It just suits my eye. They're small, not overwhelming. These are my favorite lashes that I'll forever repurchase. And don't get me wrong, I still love a bold lip. Clearly, I just bought this. This is the one from Gucci. Adore. Can't wait to wear it this summer. But for this side, again, I like makeup that I don't have to think about. I don't have to fuss around with too much. So a gloss. I used to hate glosses. I never liked gloss. But now, I think it's probably the reformulations too. A good gloss. It's easy. Like, yeah, you have to reapply it, but like, you don't have to worry about it transferring all over your face. Okay, and the last thing I would have done is my Fix Plus on both sides, honestly. And this is how I would have done my makeup in 2015, 2016. Cake face. People still do this now. I think it looks good. The only thing I probably would have changed is the lashes, and I don't do my brows like this anymore, but I don't think it looks bad. But this is how I normally do my makeup now. Like, I like wispy lashes. I don't mind if my acne shows through. Like, I look healthy, glowy, dewy. Nice shiny lip gloss. Let me know, which side do you prefer? Did you used to do your makeup like this in 2015, 2016? Don't lie, do you still do it like this? Thanks you guys for tuning in. This was fun to film and just go down like memory lane on how I used to like things and how we just change as individuals, because these are very different styles of makeup and I'll still rock both of them. But this is my aesthetic at this time. I'll try to leave all the products I use in this video down below. If there's an asterisk, it's an affiliate link, so I would get a kickback from a purchase made through that link. If that makes you uncomfortable, you can just purchase directly from the retailer. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Can't wait to see you in my next one. Take care.